Unique Mecca Audio here, man. I'm with BOOTSIE, man, the world famous Harlem. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let him tell you who he is, man. Tell him who you are, man.
I'm that young guy that was known for riding on the bikes back in the days. Always wanted to, was ambitious to get some money. Seeing my peers doing their thing, getting money. So that turned me into who I am to this day, man. I don't want to brag about it or nothing. Like you said in the Queen's Flip interview, I'll let the people speak for who I am. But yeah, I'm one of them ambitious type of guys. Let's say that.
All right, like you said, look at the camera when we talk. You talk about the dirt bikes. Tell me about the dirt bikes and who used to ride with. I remember Lord Jamie O, because I wound up in Lewisburg with him. Tell me about some of the dirt bike riders back in the day.
Man, shit. You can't forget Al Capone. He was one of the best. He used to come through Willie in one leg. You wondered like who he was, and his cousin. His cousin was nice. Who else back in the days I used to ride with, man? Those are some of the greats right there. And one of my homies, Lil Drew, he was one of the first to come through with the RM. Then I went and got me a RM. And we used to love to run from the police, have fun. We used to ride by, tap the police car, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it is. Yeah.
Hit the straight down 41st, go up the steps on them and all that. Just a little example of what we do.
But tell me about the four-wheelers. Tell me about the four-wheelers.
Oh, man. Well, the four-wheelers, you was the one bought the four-wheeler. You bought two of them. You gave me one. You had one. You really bought it for Bear, but Bear wasn't riding like that. Man, I'm taking that shit back. Hey, that's yours, Boots. And gave it to me. And my mom wake me up, you downstairs. Yo, what's up? Let's ride. 9, 10 in the morning. Man, this nigga riding. We everywhere on the sidewalks, because you can't get blocked in on the four-wheeler, so you got to stay outside of the cars and all that. So, we did it all with that, man. We had a ball doing that.
All right. Okay, a lot of people been asking, how did you meet AZIE?
I used to live on 141st between Lenox and 7th. And my moms and pops, that block was wild, niggas be shooting out and all that. And my moms and pops came from NC for a better way of life. So, once they noticed all that crazy wild shit going on, they wanted to move from down there, and they just had my younger brother. Once he was born, they was like, we gonna go and we gonna find somewhere else to move. So they found the spot, 146th Street, St. Nicholas Avenue, which was quiet back in kind of like this environment right here. It was quiet back then. So as time went on, I went to school up there, PS 153, and we used to play outside with me and my other peers, Score, Jamal and Chris, and who else, man? A few other cats, man. But anyway, long story short, as time progressed and went by, I started seeing, an older cat sitting on the steps all the time, which was AZIE. Quiet, real quiet dude, humble, very humble. And we started to get to know him, through that sort of nature, as far as him seeing us play outside. And then I started getting to know him after he moved into the cleaners. I used to walk by the cleaners, go in the store, see him in there. I used to go in there to him and a bunch of older guys in there playing checkers and all that. And I used to ask him, can I play? And they used to be like, man, you don't know what you're doing, shorty. So he used to let me come in and play checkers with him and his friends and all that. So we started gaining a little relationship. I'd go by and hang with the big boys. They go back and hang with the young boys, my peers. So that's how I met A around that time. And this was before AZIE was the big AZIE that he is to this day. You know what I'm saying? He was, he ran the cleaners, I could say that. But he pretty much paid his dues at first doing that. His homeboys used to always come in the stand, God bless the dead. That was one of his best friends, used to come in there. Who else? Charlie C, God bless the dead. He's one of the guys that got killed in the house when A got shot up in the Bronx. They all used to be in there laughing, joking, snapping. They send me to the store. I go to the store, get stuff for them and stuff like that. It's a process when you're a little nigga coming up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. You talking about the cleaners from Paid in Full?
Yeah, it was called Jimmy's Cleaners.
Okay.
Not Mr. Pibbs.
It wasn't Mr. Pibbs for the movie.
It's Jimmy Cleaners.
All right.
But they did a good matchup. Jimmy was a heavyset guy like Mr. Pibbs, a little lighter than him, but it was a good matchup for the movie, no doubt.
Okay, how about Gangsta Lou? Cause that's my big bro right there.
Well, Gangsta Lou, man, I met him just after A was established in front of my building. They was, you know, killing the block. He brought a few good men down to hold it down with him, you know what I'm saying? And I can't really all the way remember how it happened. I just remember Lou coming to the block and being with A. And, you know, he probably pitched a little bit here and there, but A used to always take Lou with him. Come on, we out. They'd be out. Everybody wanted to leave and roll with A. Everybody couldn't leave and roll with A. You gotta be his nigga, because A is just funny style we keep around him. So Lou was always in front of the block, or he'd be waiting for A, and some type of way him and A, you know, clicked real heavy. And Lou Moms was always known for getting money, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, after one point in time, make a long story short, when A did want to leave the block, that's how he ended up down 145th with the game room, the jukebox. And Lou Moms had owned this spot, a store, or I guess it was a store right next door. It was a green door running and all that I could remember. And once they moved down there, you know, I used to come down there when they had the games. I wanted to be a part of something, but you know, I was too young at the time. He wouldn't let me be a part, but I could come down there and hang out. So Lou would be around there too. So, you know, that's why I always look at Lou like a big brother to me, because I watch how they move. I watch how he interact with A, and you know, that's what made me learn to move and step like a big boy to make the big boys accept me. You know what I'm saying? So I could say Lou is one of those reasons how I learned how to move like a big boy. So that's how I met Lou.
Yeah, Lou was real influential in a lot of people. Like, big shout out to my man Big D. You know what I mean? Everybody watched the way Lou moved, because, you know what I mean? That's why I used to call him Boogaloo. He used to move like the beat of a drum, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know, move in silence but still move loud. Cause when he's in your presence, you know that, you know, a god from the street is in your presence.
I remember I had Lou down south with me one time. He brought the whole studio down, him and his boy one time, right? So we hanging out, we in Chapel Hill where all the white people be at. And one of the white guys was at the store. Well, I mean, it was in the
studio.
Not the studio, in their little bar, sports bar. So we leaving out. I'm like, come on, man, we gonna go find something else. This shit ain't really all that. And one of the white guys walked by him funny. And then the white guy looked at him like he did something wrong. He was like, what you looking at? And Lou had the thing on him then back then. This was a while ago. But he's like, yo, why you watching me, man? He said, man, you bumped me. He said, no, you bumped me. He said, do you want me to really bump you? He said, you want me to really bump you? And I know Lou got that thing on him. He didn't take his eye off. He was pivoted towards him, so I know what's about to happen next. I'm like, man, come on, Lou. I grabbed Lou like, yo, let's go. He's like, man, I'm telling you, man, you lucky.
All right, it's funny you went there. Tell me some, what are the most craziest stories or the most memorable stories you remember from Harlem growing up at any age, just coming up? Just let the people know how Harlem was back then and paint a vivid, detailed picture.
Something, what you mean, crazy?
Yeah, crazy, something that you seen crazy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I done seen a lot of crazy shit. I done stepped over my building with the Jamaicans, the Spanglers, and the Kirkers beefing. Just every year they just have a beef. And I almost got caught up in it on Edgecombe going to see a girl. And they running up, gunning at a nigga. I had to run, jump in the building, go in the building, go upstairs. I'm running up the stairs to get to her house, wait for the coast is clear, come back outside, nigga popped up in front of her building. Can't make this shit up. Then in front of my building, 723, St. Nicholas. Motherfucker, same thing. But I just heard the gunshots from my house come outside, nigga laying literally in front of my steps. We had to cross over this nigga, man, in front of my joint. So, you know, stuff like that, it was going down. Nigga would get banged up ASAP, man. Like back then, you know how I go, man. You get banged up, you don't play this game right, you gonna get your lights gonna be out, man. Yeah,
because there is rules and codes, you know what I mean? Right now they watered down and everybody trying to rearrange them because ain't nobody really in it deep as we was in it back then. But there was definitely consequences to actions.
Yeah, now everybody want to say ain't no code. It's always been a code, man. When it ain't a code, man, don't do nothing if you can't handle it.
Because bottom line is nobody want nobody to tell on them. You understand what I'm saying? If the shoe is in the other foot. So don't want to get on your foot now when you're in a position where you're looking at time that you decide that now it ain't no code. Because if it was on the other foot, you expect your man to honor the code with the shoes he's wearing.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? And that's what I understand. It's like cut and dry. What up, family? It's like cut and dry and to the point. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, but you know
niggas make excuses why they can tell or why, and niggas make excuses for other niggas why a nigga could tell. You know what I'm saying? That's why when I did the Queen's Flip interview, they was, you know, trying to ask me, all right, so one of the worst things, I'm gonna get back to that I did see was seeing my bro AZIE come out on that stretcher though. Shot up, and I was supposed to been there that night because he was supposed to did something, man, supposed to did something. They was playing the basketball game, him, Rich Porter, and everybody. And I'm like, man, fuck that, me and my bro Keith Caesar. I'm like, man, I done been to 20, 50 million basketball games. If I ain't playing, I'm out. Because normally they'll say, yo, we playing for 60,000, I don't want no money. Y'all just bust these niggas' ass and y'all split the money. I wasn't playing that day, so I'm like, I'm out. Go ride around, have some fun, come back looking for him. I think it was over at AK. Come back to the park, they gone. I'm like, man, I know where he at. I know where he was going, to the hideaway. So I'm like, fuck it, let's ride up there. I need to get that. My boy, so we riding, I just started getting tired. I'm like, man, we just get it tomorrow from. I don't really feel like going away to the Bronx. My nigga just dropped me off. He's like, I'm glad you said that, man. I'm tired too, man. And he lived in the Bronx. I mean, he would have to go there, bring me back, then go back to the Bronx. So I went to the crib, my mom waking me up, yo, AZIE, man, on the news. I'm like, Mom, chill out, man. She's like, nah, for real, get up. I see them pulling my boy out on the stretcher. So, you know, throughout the midst of it all, like I tell niggas, back then, A had the power to do whatever he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? But niggas tried to utilize, and I got a lot of people was in and out with the comments on the Queen's Flip. I tell niggas, if a nigga ain't do a crime with you, he can't snitch you. You ain't nobody do a crime. Only thing a nigga could be is a victim. Nobody made a code up that as soon as you sell drugs, that you are immediately you should know that you are gonna get killed. Or you will get killed, and people supposed to respect it, that you're supposed to go back at a nigga. Now, that man get a choice to go back at you, or he don't. Mind you, A had all the power. He had Rich Porter, he had me and my niggas, he had Gangsta Lou, he had fucking Alpo at the time when he was Alpo, and he had the power. So what happened was the dude Kevin, what everybody don't understand, the dude Kevin bring niggas around that, he didn't bring these niggas around. He just knew something was in the safe because A was holding him down, looking out for him. And this nigga wants to tell his niggas that he know that it's something in the safe. Let's go get this nigga. So now, if A wanted to go to war with them, he don't know them. We had to get Kevin first. And guess what? We was laying outside of Kevin's house. Me, Rich Porter, my boy Keith Caesar. Alpo was riding up and down. He ran in the cab earlier that day and told him, yo, A got shot. Come to the block. We already knew it was Kevin. He was trying to lure Kevin to the block. So we was outside in front of that nigga mama house waiting for him. You know what I'm saying? And niggas wanted to go up in his mama house, but Rich Porter was like, nah, that lady ain't got nothing to do with that. Alpo kept circling back. Y'all ain't seen him yet? Nah, we all over there with them, you know what, waiting. So we see him. So, you know, so he's the nigga that told on them niggas. A was a victim. He got the choice to say, yeah, and testify against what happened to him or not. That don't make him a snitch. He didn't do a crime with them. If he did a crime with those niggas, that's what snitching. So don't think because you get in the game that means, nigga, you know what the game is if you get in it, and you might get robbed. So you gotta go handle it. No, the robbers need to understand who they robbing. Because he might not be a nigga that's about that life.
I know I'm the big homie, you're my little homie, and we family and all that, but I beg to differ about that. The way I was raised, you know what I mean? The way I was raised is, once you break the law and you enter into the street, then it is no cooperating with the police, it is no telling nothing. If you see somebody get killed, if you see your mama get killed, you know what I mean? And this is how vicious the game is, so I'm letting y'all know now, that's why I say don't get involved in it. My brother got killed. My brother got shot 2 times in the head. And the feds came to interview me while I was in ADX Supermax, and I told them, I ain't got no rap for you. I didn't come to you when I was on the street. I'm not gonna come to you now while I'm in prison, and I don't need you to solve my brother's murder because I'm from the street, and this is a street thing. You understand what I'm saying? So I say I beg to differ because once you break the law, that's why I tell them, don't break the law, don't get out there. And you know, this is what men do. We could agree to disagree. You know what I mean? But I'm saying, once you break that law and you enter it, you enter into the street world. I'm talking about even if you want to be a booster, a check casher, a scammer, once you start breaking the law, then that means that it is no telling. You understand what I'm saying? There's no telling, because the same way you breaking the law with the check cashing scam or stick ups or whatever you doing, and you don't want nobody to tell on you.
That's
so when
different.
okay, how's it different?
I beg to differ.
Go ahead, different.
Because when I was getting into the game, nobody say nothing about, well, if you get into the game, if something happened to you, you know you can't go and tell the police.
Agreed.
Meaning if you get shot, you can't tell the police. If a nigga sneak you and make you think he your homeboy, and then he got you somewhere where you can't do nothing but you survive it and you live, that you ain't even supposed to tell. Nobody said that to me. Nobody said it to, like, they need to do movies with that being said.
Okay, but
if that's the code. If that's the code.
I got you. But you know, being a generation or two ahead of you, because you know I'm damn near 60.
Right.
You know what I mean? From back then, this was an unwritten rule. You understand what I'm saying? But we know the rules. Bottom line, we sitting here right now, and our little brother, you know, snatch somebody's pocketbook and running down the street. You understand what I'm saying? We're not going to tell on him. You understand what I'm saying? And we didn't do the crime with him.
Only time we knew that rule is what they make sure they tell you in the game. Make sure you ain't no snitch. You do something with somebody, you go do your time.
No, we know that when you do it with somebody, but when you out there on that corner and you see John Blow selling crack, you can't go call the police that John Doe's selling crack.
No, not at all. I agree to that.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. So that's where the lines get a little muddy and a little crossed, because people say, like what you just said, that you have to be committing a crime with them. No, if you're a criminal, that means that it's the cops against the criminals. You understand what I'm saying? Period. It's the cops against the criminals. So you don't help the cops with no crime.
Right.
Is the way the code was presented to me. And that was just, I'm sitting on the corner and I see two dudes arguing and dudes get stabbed. It might be my best friend getting stabbed. You understand? Either I'm going to retaliate or I'm going to leave it alone. But I'm not going to go to the police. Yeah, but I'm not going to go to the police to help them solve it. If they come show me a picture, say this the man that stabbed, you know what I mean, your brother, your best friend, I'm going to say, yo, nah, I don't know who that is.
No,
you understand what I'm saying?
As you should.
Yeah, but
that's my point. You have the right to do so, and it won't, as far as you're a victim. And what I'm saying, if you have the right to do so, if you are a victim to the crime, like niggas shot you up, snuck you, and got you in a room where you don't, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I got shot 4 times, and I wouldn't cooperate with the police.
Right, no doubt.
You know what I mean?
I wouldn't either, bro. I'm just saying, a person have that right, so I don't know if you would call him a snitch, and I don't know who didn't. I ain't never heard nobody training. Once you cross that line, I'm gonna give you these drugs. Once you cross this line, anything can happen to you. A nigga snake you, anything. You make sure you don't tell the police. Niggas need to say that.
Now, what that was said to me when I was first put in the herb gates, the first rule was told to me is don't serve no white man with blonde hair and blue eyes, because they the police. We talking about back in the 70s.
Right.
So they didn't have a bunch of black police and Hispanic and Chinese to blend in like they do now. But you know, my Rastafarian brother and big rest in peace to Camel, you know, Big Tony, you know what I mean? That's my big cousin that brought us all in. He told us straight up, if the police come in here, you don't tell nothing. And when you go out there on that sidewalk in front of the building, if you see someone else committing a crime, you don't say nothing to the police. Meaning all this was given to me, but I was more trained and bred into this. You understand? Because I'm out there.
That's what's needed.
You know, that's how it was given to me, that under no circumstances do you cooperate with the police. In Jamaica, we used to play a game before I even came to this island. We had a game, they used to send down those little plastic guns that you pull the trigger and they go, row, row. You know those little guns that make a little shooting sound.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? And back in the day, you know what I mean? Y'all probably don't remember these, but you might not even remember. I'm talking back in the 70s, I used to get some guns that you put a fire, like a little strip of
the cap guns.
Yeah, the cap gun, you hear it go pow, pow. Okay, but when we had that, everybody wanted to be the criminal. Nobody wanted to be the cops. We used to argue not to be the cops. Nah, I'm gonna do it for the first 10 minutes, then you do it. But nobody wanted to do it. But that's because we was raised that you don't mess with the police, you don't do nothing with the police, you don't cooperate with the police, and we're not just talking about if you get in a crime. You know what I mean? They tell, if, like I said, my brother said, you go in front of this herb gates and you see them, we in Puerto Rican neighborhoods at the time, we in South Bronx. You see them Puerto Ricans selling dope, ODing on dope, stabbing each other over dope, you mind your goddamn business and you keep it moving and you don't cooperate with the police, because we don't want them telling on us that we up here on the 4th floor. You know what I mean? In building 730. You know what I mean? So these are the things that was given to me in detail, that under no circumstances do you cooperate.
So
you know what I mean?
In my mental, you know, niggas is like, A was one of the first niggas told me, you ever have a problem with niggas, or you know, the stick 'em niggas trying to step to you, extort you, first thing you do if you find out about it, you go step to them first because it throw them off balance. So that's what I always knew anyway. You know what I'm saying? If you fuck with my people, my first charge was pistol whipping a nigga for putting his hand on my brother Ant. I pistol whipped. That was my first time going to Rikers.
Okay, so would you want the young lady or the old lady or the young man or the old man sitting across the street that witnessed you pistol whipping them, would you want him telling on you?
I wouldn't be mad at them because they are civilians.
We got that, but now if they selling drugs, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They selling drugs,
no.
or they running credit card, or they card thieving.
They ain't supposed to. You're supposed to mind your business.
Okay, pause. So now go back to what you said. You said that you had to commit a crime with somebody. You understand what I'm saying? In order for it to be snitching.
Yeah.
But now you just said something different.
But
so break that down.
Even if they are, they ain't commit a crime, they ain't snitching. But we would say it's snitching. But they not minding their business. That's why they better leave when they can get out of jail.
Exactly.
That's the point. That's the point of why you should just mind your business. But I can't differentiate the difference in a nigga standing across the street selling drugs opposed to a civilian person.
No, we're not talking about a civilian. We know they're going to tell.
I'm talking about I can't differentiate the difference.
Oh, okay.
And saying he a snitch because.
Okay, but if you know he's scamming credit cards.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? You know he's a criminal. You know he's a criminal.
So he a criminal in the game. He should just mind his business.
Yeah, and the game just don't mean selling drugs. Let's get that straight.
Let's say vice versa. The civilians should mind their business too.
No, most definitely, because a lot of
they gonna get it too.
Exactly.
They gonna get out of jail.
Exactly. You know, that's how it was back in the day. We ain't on that time no more. We just breaking it down so you understand how this go. But like I said, we could agree to disagree. But as you see, he's coming around to what I'm saying. Once you step off this step onto that sidewalk and you say that you committing crimes in the street and you're a part of the game got many different players. The game is not just a crack dealer or a drug dealer. The game is a car thief, a stick-up kid, a credit card scammer. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever you're doing to break that law where you know you don't want a man to tell on you, that's what you know that you don't do to the next man.
This is a good conversation for the youth now, what we saying, because nobody never broke it down like that to the youth. That's why they think it's snitching is cool and all that. So they ain't understanding when you get into the game what it is. You know what I'm saying? I learned early you ain't never supposed to snitch. You ain't even supposed to talk to the police when they get you. I done been locked up in Kingston, upstate for homicide. Well, I was locked up for drugs, but homicide came fucking with me. All 7 of us. They took all 7 of them down first. They wanted me last because I was the ringleader or whatever. And they wanted to question me about some homicide shit. But, you know, we don't know what y'all guys is down here for. Why are you talking to us? Period. Everybody stood tall. Right after that, I left. I goes down to, I start going down to VA. And they was railroading niggas sitting on the side of the line in Maryland. Before you cross the VA line, they pulling you over on Route 13. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing a movie about that. I was railroaded, but I was facing 60 years, as you know. You remember that one before the feds got you? I was facing 60 years. Tried to take me in there and say my co-defendant is saying that you did this, you did. I said, I don't give a fuck what he telling you. He telling you something to save his life. I was just getting a ride to VA. I'm going to visit my family. They got mad at me, made me get out. They said the same thing to him. He ain't fold. Put him back out. So, you know, we already knew the game, and I took my shit to trial facing the 60. You know what I'm saying? So we know the game. We know how it goes. Me, myself, if a nigga did something to me and I survived it, shot me up and I survived it, we going to war, my nigga. That's all I know. That's all I grew up with. That's what it is. That's why I don't bother nobody. But if you fuck with me, then now I'm gonna have to go 10 times, 20 times harder than you did, my nigga. So it's difference. I'm just saying the difference in other people, other men, you know?
Well, I'm telling you as an OG, what I was taught from back in the 70s in this game, that once you break that law, you don't tell nothing, you don't cooperate with the police, you don't work with the police, you don't do nothing with the police. Like I said, my brother's murder is still unsolved, and I refuse to help them solve that. Right. You understand what I'm saying? Don't even come to me with none of that. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Either I'm going to deal with it or I'm not going to deal with it, but that's for me to know and for them to find out. Right. But bottom line is, man, like I said, you don't cooperate with them under no circumstances. We don't want to get in it deep, but like I said, now let me speak on this. As far as a dude telling, you know what I mean? Like, okay, like in the prison, you know what I mean, in the prison or even out here, we know that when a dude telling that he's shunned, he's not allowed to come around you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Big facts.
Okay, but now, even in the prison, even out here, we walk by dudes every day that's telling. You understand what I'm saying? But we're not sitting down with them, breaking bread and conversation and the lollygagging and all of that.
Never gonna happen.
You understand what I'm saying?
My time, so I can't fuck with a nigga that took another nigga from his family and all that. So
You understand? So now, that's why now that I'm being a journalist with this, I try and bring you the voice of even the ones that told, but that don't mean they my friends. And like I said, I'll tell them in their face, which I did from the Alpo video, that I don't agree with none of that shit you did. You understand what I'm saying? Right. But the youth need to hear, you understand, both sides so that they could know, you know what I mean, what side they want to be on. You know what I mean? That don't like it's going to make it through there, but we're going to talk just to see. You understand what I'm saying? But, you know, that's where it is, man. Let me stop it here, because I don't even know. Let me see.
You grind like you're going to be able to.
Hold up. Hold up.
Cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. Bruh. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. An Instagram page and a YouTube you could go and visit. Yeah. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Real. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spin a couple bands on the dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. Baby horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community yours. So we can give back to the youth them, cause they the truth them, and bless up to all the root men.